All right, so today we're diving into the world of carbon credits.
Ooh, yeah,
And, this is something that I think a lot of people are kind of confused about still.
for sure.
And you sent over some really cool info about this platform called Matter Now.
Yes.
And
It's really interesting.
it seems like they're trying to,
Yeah, they're sort of trying to change the game.
yeah, change the game.
Yeah.
And, you've been following this space for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
You're an investor in renewables.
Uh-huh.
So this is something that's pretty close to home for you, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think before we even get into Matter Now, can we just do a super quick refresher on
Sure.
what carbon credits are?
Yeah.
Why do we even care about this whole thing?
Totally, yeah.
Just to make sure everyone listening is on the same page.
Yeah. So basically a carbon credit, it's like a certificate or a permit.
Okay.
Right? And it represents 1 metric ton
Okay.
of carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Or, it could be other greenhouse gases, but it's all kind of standardized to that 1 metric ton of CO2.
I see.
And the idea is that projects that are reducing emissions,
Okay.
like let's say planting trees or investing in renewable energy, those projects can generate these credits.
Got it.
And then companies that maybe aren't able to reduce their emissions as quickly
Right.
can buy these credits to kind of offset.
Balance it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a balancing act.
Okay.
So you emit some carbon over here,
Yeah.
but then you're supporting a project that's reducing it over there.
Okay.
And it's supposed to help us kind of get to that net zero goal.
Right. Yeah. And I think the whole idea is to incentivize these emission reduction activities and projects.
To incentivize the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And kind of put a price on pollution.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so that's the theory, at least.
Yeah. In theory.
The practice, it's a little messy.
Right. And that's where I think some of the skepticism comes in.
Exactly.
Maybe some of the criticism.
A lot of people are like, well,
Yeah.
how do we know this is actually working?
Yeah. Are we just
Right.
are we just paying for something that's not really happening?
Exactly. And that's one of the big things that
Yeah.
Matter Now is trying to address is the transparency issue.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So they have this idea of a digital passport.
A digital passport for every single credit.
But every credit.
Yeah. So
What does that even mean?
imagine a birth certificate
Okay.
or a
Yeah.
a detailed history
Oh, wait.
of that credit
So
from the moment it's created.
it's tracking its entire life.
It's tracking where it comes from,
Wow.
how it's verified, who's bought it, who's sold it.
So you can see
You can see the entire chain of custody,
if it's been
which is huge.
counted.
It's huge for transparency
Yeah.
because that's been a big problem.
Well,
You hear these stories of credits being sold twice
yeah.
or projects that aren't really delivering.
Mhm. And how is Matter Now?
Yeah.
So this is, how are they?
Well, the magic word is blockchain.
Okay, blockchain. I feel like blockchain is this
It's one of those buzzwords.
Yeah,
It's a buzzword that everyone throws
Blockchain.
around, and I still don't really understand what it actually means.
So think about it like a
Okay.
like a digital ledger,
Okay.
right? A
Yeah.
really, really secure ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just stored in one place.
Okay.
It's copied across a whole network of computers.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
distributed.
Like decentralized.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And every time something happens,
Right.
like a transaction or
Right.
new information is added,
Yeah.
it's added to this ledger in a block.
Okay.
And these blocks are linked together in a chain,
I see. So that's why it's called.
hence the name blockchain.
Yeah. And the cool thing is because it's distributed,
Yeah.
it's really, really hard to tamper with
Okay.
because you would have to change it on every single copy.
Every single computer on the network.
Which is practically impossible.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like
So it's like a super secure way to keep track of things?
yeah, super secure, super transparent because everyone can see the ledger.
Okay, and so they're applying that to
Exactly.
the carbon credits.
Yeah, so each credit has its own little entry on the blockchain,
Wow.
and you can see its entire history.
That's really cool.
No more hiding stuff.
Yeah, no more funny business.
No more funny business.
Right, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So that's the blockchain part.
Okay.
But they're also doing this other thing that I think is even cooler,
Okay, what's that?
which is real-time monitoring.
Real-time monitoring. Okay.
So traditionally, carbon offset projects,
Yeah.
they would be checked maybe once a year.
Oh.
Someone would go out there,
Yeah.
take some measurements, write a report.
Yeah.
But with Matter, now they're using all this fancy technology,
Like what?
satellite imagery,
Okay.
remote sensors.
Wow.
They're even talking about using IoT devices.
So they can basically...
So they can basically see what's happening.
See what's happening live.
In real time.
Oh, that's...
How much carbon is actually being sequestered.
That's incredible.
If there are any problems with the project,
yeah,
they can identify them right away.
Okay, so this is...
It's a game changer.
This is like a huge shift from how things have been done.
Huge shift.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking from the perspective of like someone who's actually developing one of these projects.
Right.
That sounds like a lot more work for them.
You would think so.
Right.
But it's actually the opposite.
Really?
Because...
Why?
Think about it. If you've got all this data coming in, you can actually identify problems faster. You can fix them faster. And when it comes to verification, you've got all the evidence right there.
So it actually speeds things up.
It speeds things up big time.
Wow.
Matter now says it can reduce verification time by like 40 to 60%.
Okay, that's
a huge...
It's like a lot of time saved.
Huge. Yeah. And time is money.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for these developers.
And not only that, but from what I understand, Matter now also helps them with all the paperwork.
Oh, yeah. They've got all these tools and templates.
Oh, really?
To help with the documentation.
Wow.
Which can be a nightmare.
Yeah, they can be a total nightmare.
Yeah, so it's like they're really trying to make life easier.
So it's almost like they're providing like a service to the developers.
Yeah, it's like a carbon credit concierge service.
Yeah.
It's like they're holding their hand through the whole process.
That's pretty cool. And I imagine that for these developers, too, it's probably nice to know.
All their sensitive project data is like...
Yeah, all their data is secure.
Bank-level security.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're not...
Yeah, they're not messing around. So, yeah, they're really trying to appeal to the developers.
Okay, so that's...
easy for them.
That's the developer side.
Yeah.
But what about the companies that are actually buying these credits?
Right.
What's in it for them?
So for the buyers, it's all about trust.
Okay.
Right? You're a company, you're trying to reach net zero. You're putting your reputation on the line when you buy these credits.
So you want to make sure that you're getting the real deal.
That you're not getting scammed.
Yeah.
That the credits are actually legitimate.
Right.
And that's what Matters now is offering.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
You can actually see where these credits came from. You can see that they've been verified.
Yeah.
You know, that they haven't been double counted.
Right. So it takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they give buyers this really cool dashboard.
Oh, wow.
Where they can track their entire carbon credit portfolio.
So they can see like all the credits they bought.
They can see like all the projects they're supporting. They can see the retirement status of the credits.
Okay, now explain that to me. What does retirement mean?
So when a carbon credit is retired, it means it's been permanently taken out of circulation.
So it can't be
used again.
Double counted.
Yeah, it's like proof that it's been used to offset emissions.
Okay, so it's like a way to guarantee that it's legitimate.
Yeah, to guarantee that it's done its job.
Okay, that's cool.
And they can also generate all sorts of reports for like compliance.
Okay.
ESG reporting.
Now, for people who don't know what ESG reporting is.
Yeah, so ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance.
Okay.
And it's basically a way for companies to show
how they're doing.
Like how sustainable.
Yeah, on all these like sustainability issues.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a really big deal for investors.
Investors care about this now.
Investors care a lot about this.
Yeah.
So if you're a company and you can show that you're taking climate action seriously, that's a good thing.
That's a good look.
That's a good look. All right. So we've got the developers. We've got the buyers. There's one more piece of this puzzle that I want to talk about.
Who's that?
Which is the insurers.
Oh, the insurers.
Yeah, because you sent over this article about how Matter now is.
Yeah, they're doing something interesting with insurance.
Doing something with insurance.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, because insuring these carbon offset projects can be really risky.
Yeah.
Like, what if the project doesn't perform?
What if it fails?
What if there are problems with the verification? What if the price of carbon credits just tanks?
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of
unknowns.
So
Matter now is trying to address that.
Okay.
By providing insurers with these like really sophisticated risk assessment tools.
Wow.
So they can look at all this data, the project performance, the verification data, the methodology, even the market risk.
So it helps them.
So it helps them understand the risks.
Understand the risks better.
And price their insurance products accordingly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So it's bringing more transparency to the insurance side, too.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second.
Yeah.
And think about...
Big picture.
Yeah, the big picture.
Yeah.
Like, why does all of this even matter?
Right.
What impact could a platform like Matter Now have
on
the whole fight against climate change?
It all comes down to trust.
Trust, okay.
Right? If people don't trust the carbon market, it's not going to work.
Yeah, if they think it's all just...
Right, if it's all just a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of...
Then no one's going to invest in it.
Yeah.
No one's going to take it seriously.
So Matter Now is trying to build that trust.
Exactly.
By making everything.
Yeah, by making everything transparent. By making sure the credits are actually legitimate.
Yeah.
By helping people understand the risks. So it's not just about creating a platform.
Yeah.
It's about building a more robust foundation.
For the whole market.
For the whole market.
Yeah.
Which is pretty ambitious.
It's very ambitious, and I think
it's what we need.
It's probably needed.
Yeah.
But one thing that I'm kind of curious about is...
Yeah, what are you curious about?
How do they make sure that this is accessible?
That's a great question.
To everyone. Yeah. Because, you know, technology can be great.
Yeah.
But it can also be really expensive. And it can exclude people.
Yeah. So how do we make sure...
Smaller projects in developing countries.
And small farmers in the, the Amazon can participate in this.
Yeah, exactly.
That they can benefit from it.
Yeah, and that they're not just...
That it's not just a tool for the wealthy.
Left out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's something to think about.
That's something to think about.
It's not just about the technology itself.
Yeah.
It's about how it's used.
Yeah.
And who has access to it.
Well, I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, I think so too.
This has been
a really
fascinating,
interesting dive.
Yeah. Thank you so much for breaking all this down.
My pleasure.
I feel like I learned a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And
it's definitely a space to watch.
Yeah, definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
All right, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Bye. See ya.